Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this doesn't work. Let's get open for business. Let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. And I got to give a thank you to Joseph Hardley. Heatherly, not Hartley, Joseph Heatherly. Joseph Heatherly, I was just talking to him on the phone and stuff. One of the nicest people that you will ever meet in life. He's like family. No, he's better than family, okay? Um, Great people. And it's because of people like him and Miss Jackie and things like that that we are able to do the stuff that we're doing. Um, if you've been a fan of this channel for any length of time, for a couple of years or so, you probably have brain damage by now from listening to me. But you've seen how we've grown and we've changed, and we're continuing to do new and different and better things and try and get the fans involved as much as possible. And it's because of people like Miss Jackie, who's always keeping me informed, and all the great moderators we have from Incognito and Stephanie, um, and everybody else, that help make this stuff work, because together we're stronger than being apart. Now, when I grew up, and yes, I'm old, when we watched football, there was no internet, so you couldn't go and see somebody like me or Law Nation or a Cowboys scouting report or anything like that. You had to either wait till Friday when Sports Illustrated came out, or you watched the George Michael Sports Machine, which was on Sunday nights from 11:30 to 12 to get highlights, or you watched ABC Wild World of Sports that was on Saturdays for an hour. Dun 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 dun. That was it. But the thing that was cool was when ESPN came out, 20, 24 hours of sports. We all looked at each other and said, there's not that much sport. How are you going to have 24 hours of sports? There's not that much sports going on. But we were wrong. But it was great because they gave you the highlights, they gave you the stats, they gave you what was going on, and they allowed you to use your brain to make an opinion. Fast forward to now. They got rid of all those guys that actually knew football. I know they weren't pretty to look at. They weren't the high volume people and stuff. And they've turned into a reality TV show that are trying to force their narrative on you. And I understand it's about money. Bottom line is a bottom line. And so they realize that hating on the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are the biggest fan base and things, and they're so polarizing, is you're going to get the clicks. If you try to do the same thing with Tampa Bay, ain't nobody watching. They're not. That's a fact. It's America's team. So more than likely, when they do something like this, it's because they're trying to get a reaction. So we have our post free agency draft power rankings. And what we all know before the season is, what they typically do is they take the teams that made the playoffs. Generally speaking, that's going to be the top 12. Usually the Super Bowl champions number one, the runner-ups number two, and so on. Knowing that half the teams that won and were in the playoffs last year won't the next year. But that's usually what they do. So let's go through ESPN's list and see how the Dallas Cowboys rank. Kansas City, yeah, well, they were on the cusp there. They look really good. I can understand that. I can't argue with that one. New Orleans Saints, they got robbed. They should have been in the Super Bowl. That no call sucks. And we as Cowboy fans understand that feeling from the catch, no catch. The Rams, yeah, well, the Rams, they were in the Super Bowl, so you need to put them up there. I can't argue with that. So far, it's making sense. New England, yeah, they were Super Bowl champs. Of course, they're always one of the top 5 teams. And as we go down, the Colts, yeah, we're holding to form. Colts were a playoff team. Andrew Luck is back, and he's playing well. Young up and coming, good coaching. The Chargers, yeah, Phillip Rivers, they seem to have it together, great coaching out there and stuff, yeah. And with the rest of that division kind of being down, you can say, yeah, the Chargers, yeah. The Bears, The Bears. Of course, yeah, they're a playoff team. They did good. The rest of the division, I'm not sold on. So yeah, that's a good pick. Houston Texans. Yeah, playoff team last year. Good team. J.J. Watt seems to be able to stay healthy. Deshaun Watson, he's a good guy. You got Hopkins to throw to, who can take a bad pass and make it look beautiful because he can just catch everything. Yeah, yeah. Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, they did really good last year. They what? Wait a minute. Atlanta Falcons, the team that had a losing record last year. So you're figuring, okay, maybe they're figuring they're going to turn around because they've got a lot of talent. So let's see what they say about the Falcons. Where the team needed to improve this offseason, the offensive line. The Falcons really invested in the line both through the draft and via free agency. Okay, all right. All right, so they're thinking they're going to be good. Okay, all right, I'll give you that one. That's the first non-playoff team that's been in the top 10. And then the Philadelphia Eagles with a 66.5% playoff chance percentage. Where the team improved this offseason, running back, the Eagles traded for Jordan Howard and selected Penn State's Miles Sanders in the second round. The talent infusion will elevate a unit that ranked 28th in rushing last season, 1,570 yards, and was second from the bottom in yards per attempt. Okay. So, okay. Philadelphia Eagles, 2 years ago, Super Bowl. I got that. They did make the playoffs last year, so yeah, I got that. A veteran team, about seventh oldest in the NFL, with a quarterback who has yet to stay upright for a whole season, that the Cowboys beat twice. Maybe they're looking at the fact that nobody's repeated in the NFC East 2 years in a row since they did in 2003 and 2004. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, let's keep on going down the list. Our Cowboys got to be up next, right? Minnesota Vikings, 11. Playoff chances, 44.8%. Where this team improved this offseason. Blustering Kirk Cousins sporting cast. Wait a minute, hold on. I thought if you're a great quarterback, you don't need anybody else. Isn't that the case? Because they keep saying we got to surround Dak Prescott with talent in order for him to win, right? I think that's what it is. But anyway, the Vikings went all in on offense in their first 4 draft picks, notably to solidify the interior of the offensive line, but also surround their quarterback with more weapons, adding tight end Irvin Smith Jr. and running back Alexander Mattison. Okay, all right. Cousins will have more options to work with and create explosive plays the quarterback feels were lacking in 2018. Okay, that's cool. So the Cowboys should be up next, I imagine. No, another team that didn't make the playoffs for the last 2 years. The Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers with a new coach that Aaron Rodgers threw the old one under the bus, and then he took a buzzsaw to the defense. Last year they said they were going to be ninth, power rated, just like they said earlier, and they ended up being in the basement. Okay, let's see what they have to say about Green Bay. Where the team needs to improve this offseason. Speed on defense. The Packers got younger and quicker at the edge position by signing Preston Smith, and Darius Smith in free agency, and taking Rashawn Gray at the draft. Blah 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 blah. Made it faster too. I'm just curious. The wide receivers, because they have no depth at all at wide receivers, and they don't have great wide receivers. But okay, I'll give you that they're better than the Dallas Cowboys. I know the Cowboys said they're coming up soon. Tennessee Titans, 13th. Okay. Seattle Seahawks. Okay, Seattle, I can see being up there with a 41% chance of making the playoffs. Where the team needed to improve this offseason, punter. Okay. So Seattle, they have rated ahead of us, whom we beat in the playoffs. The Eagles, they have rated ahead of us, whom we beat twice during the season. Cleveland Browns at 15. Chances of making the playoffs at 51.5% of the chance. Ooh, okay. All right, I'm not even going to go through. Okay. Okay, well, we have to at least be 16th. We have to at least be in the middle, right? At least in the top half. The Pittsburgh Squealers. Baltimore Ravens. Jacksonville Jaguars? Are you kidding me? I know they got my boy Calais, and they got Nick Foles. We're at 18, and we don't see the Dallas Cowboys? Okay. Here we are. ESPN has us at 19. Chances of making the playoffs, 44.2%. Where the team improved this offseason. Pass rush. The biggest move the Cowboys made was keeping DeMarcus Lawrence on a 5-year, $100 million contract. Lawrence had 25 sacks the past 2 seasons, and the next biggest was acquiring Robert Quinn in trade for Miami Dolphins. He had 6.5 sacks last season and will be motivated for a big one entering the final year of his deal. Randy Gregory, who had 6 sacks last season, is currently suspended indefinitely. But the Cowboys have not given up hope that he can play in 19. Add to the current depth and offensive on line with Tyrone Crawford, Malik Collins, and draft pick Kerry Hayter and second-round pick Tristan Hill. The Cowboys are deep and talented along with the front they've added since Rod Marinelli joined the staff. What the fuck? Hold on. Is this crap here real? Excuse me for losing my self here. You're going to say that all these teams have a better chance and are rated better than the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, and keep in mind here, okay, I'm a homer. Just like ESPN apparently are anti-Dallas Cowboys. I get this. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. But do you honestly, and even you Eagle fans out there, do you honestly believe that the Dallas Cowboys are only the 19th best team in the NFL? Come on. Let's look at this for a second here. I'll give you that the Dallas Cowboys stunk up the place the first 8 games. But you look at the last 10 games of the season. The Dallas Cowboys went 8-2, and that includes 2 playoff games. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Yes. You could arguably say that the Dallas Cowboys playing the second half of the season was the hottest team in the NFL. Let me say this, because nobody has started out 3-5 in the NFC East and won the division. Keep in mind that the Dallas Cowboys, that second half of the season, beat the world champions not once, but twice. They beat New Orleans. I believe New Orleans is number 3 on that list. They went to Atlanta and beat Atlanta on their turf. They beat playoff team after playoff team. They beat 5 teams. I believe it's 5. Seattle, the Eagles twice, New Orleans, Atlanta. 5 of the teams that they have rated higher than the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys beat the second half of the season. Now keep in mind, we lost an all-pro center. I know what you guys will say. You can't count injuries, even though the Eagles will say, well, we were beat up. That we get back. Keep in mind we had a rookie guard who's put on about 10 pounds of meat. Keep in mind that our all-pro tackle this time last year was out in California rehabbing his back and couldn't finish out the season. Keep in mind this time last year we didn't have any wide receivers. And we only had Amari Cooper for a second half of a season. Keep in mind that we were one of the youngest teams in the NFL last year. And I believe right now we sit at 6. We didn't lose anybody that was not replaced by somebody better. Yes, Randy Gregory, his 6 sacks, along with his boneheaded plays, are gone. Replaced by Robert Quinn, a veteran who got 6.5 last year in Miami, playing really out of position in a defense that he really shouldn't. We lost Cole Measley Beasley, a slot receiver, and replaced him with a Randall Cobb who can do a lot more things than Cole Beasley. Going into last year, we didn't really have a tight end. Now we bring back a Hall of Famer along with having Blake Jarwin come around. So when you look at all these pieces right here, you got to at least think that the Cowboys should at least be in the top half, that they shouldn't really fall back. Because what you're saying is the Dallas Cowboys, having won a playoff game, were one of the final 8. So how do you go from being one of the final 8 without losing anybody important? You didn't lose anybody. You didn't lose your coaching staff. You didn't lose, your Hall of Fame future players or anything like that. How do you go from being one of the final 8 teams still standing to being rated 19th? And I hate to say it, man, because like I said, I was always an ESPN fan. But this, come on. Even you people who hate the Dallas Cowboys can't agree with this crap. Let's, you know what, for the sake of argument, I'm just curious how it goes after the Cowboys. Who's the next one? Panthers, okay. 49ers, Broncos, Raiders, Lions, Tampa Bay, New York Giants, Buffalo, Washington Redskins, Bengals, New York Giants, Arizona Cardinals, and then the Dolphins. Sorry, ESPN. You have just turned into a straight up joke. I'm Mark Holmes, and forgive me for losing my cool. I'll see you soon.